Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470. WNN.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Talk 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
What if you got rewarded for every good decision? What if your heart had a special way of letting you know it appreciates your healthy choices?
Oh, I've got to get my family to eat more vegetables.
Amazing!
And instead of cooking with butter tonight, I think I'll saute our veggies with heart-healthy oil.
You're a genius!
So really, would your food choices pay off in heart health? Did you know that when you replace bad fats with healthier fats, like those in canola or other vegetable oils, it can lower bad cholesterol levels, and that's good for your heart. Here's a winning idea. Take up the challenge for good health, because the you of the future will say,
fantastic!
Learn more at heart.org/facethefats. Canola Info proudly supports the American Heart Association's Face the Fats campaign.
Hi, it's Jay Foster. Join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio. We'll talk about natural cholesterol control, toxic metal syndrome, how to reverse bone loss, and the latest scientific research on vitamins and minerals. We'll have fascinating guests, and we'll take lots of your calls, too. So join us 7 days a week from 2 to 3 p.m. for Health Connection Radio right here on WNN.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
Talk 1470 WNN is now available on iHeartRadio. Download it now for free on your app store and take WNN with you wherever you go with iHeartRadio.
This is Talk 1470.
Talk 1470.
WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Schub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Schub, and tonight, like we always do, we're going to talk some golf, we'll talk some travel, and we'll have some fun. Hopefully, we'll all learn a little bit. Got a great show in store for you tonight. In just a little bit, we'll be chatting with Noah Denzel, and he is the CEO of a company by the name of Nomad Goods, and they make some very, very cool products that are helpful in your travels or on the golf course, I suppose. Things that are very cool for your phone, things like cases and chargers and as well as maybe like for your iWatch or products like that. So it makes traveling a lot easier, and they're very, very stylish as well. So I want to find out a little bit more about the company, some of their products, and how Noah got involved with them in the first place. So we'll be talking to him in just a little bit, and got some pretty good deals for you tonight. I actually got a whole bunch of deals as usual, from nearby to all the way around the world. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later too. I've got a little bit of news, travel news, golf news, and wanted to talk briefly about my day today because I can, but because I also am fortunate to sometimes have some pretty cool days. And today I was fortunate to cover an event that was taking place across the street from my office over by my friends at PGA National Resort. And they've got a really nice tennis center there that they must have about 12 courts there, and they have some local tournaments and events for all different age groups. And, it's just a great place to play and to learn the game. But they just recently changed over the instructional format, I suppose, and the tennis school now is going to be headed up by Johan Kriek. So maybe you remember him from back in the day. I believe he won a couple of majors in his time, perhaps two, and was a tough competitor. And so now it's going to be his place. And he was supposedly going to have an exhibition today with John Isner, who's the highest-ranking men's tennis player in the U.S. But unfortunately, John got injured and had to back out. So that was the bad news. But the good news is Johan called up his friend to come and play instead, and it was Martina Navratilova. So I was sitting on the court about 4 or 5 feet away from the outline on the sideline, and right in the corner, close enough that the balls that were being hit at my face were being able to be returned from inside the court. So I was right on top of it, but it was a lot of fun, and it was just another example of what's going on at PGA National. I guess a couple of years ago they embarked on some renovations that they did. They sunk over $100 million into the facility, fixed up all of the golf courses, the common areas, the lobby, the rooms, the restaurants, you name it. And $100 million doesn't go quite as far as it used to go, I guess, but it's noticeable. The pool is just gorgeous, and great place to go. And being a guy that typically plays golf or reports on golf, I don't get to report on tennis much. But obviously, when you travel to a resort that bills itself as having everything, you want it truly to have everything. And here's a resort that's really right in our backyard. So I know I go there every once in a while for just a quick getaway. My day job, we put up clients there all the time, and we get a good corporate rate because we give them a lot of business. The rates in the off season are extremely attractive, and I know that recently they had a deal for $199 where a family could have 2 adjoining rooms. It was $199 a night for the 2 rooms together. I think they had Florida resident rates for single rooms as low as $109 during the off season. Obviously, we're heading into the peak season, so the rates are going to go up a little bit, but it's still a gem. So PGAResort.com, I believe, is where you could go to find out more information about it, and I highly recommend it. Another thing I want to talk to you about that is kind of more golf-related than tennis is the event that the Golf and Travel Show is sponsoring, and it's taking place this weekend. So hopefully you're listening to me live tonight and not on a rerun. But it would be the 6th annual Wheels for Kids charity golf tournament. And Wheels for Kids is a great charity. They make custom-made wheelchairs for children so that children can attempt to live a life that they would like to live, so they could do the things that they want to do without being held back. For instance, on our Facebook page a couple of weeks ago, I posted a photo of a wheelchair that was made specifically for the beach so that kids can actually wheel themselves on the sand and right down to the water. So very, very cool charity. So this Sunday, September 18th, is the event. It's a 8 o'clock shotgun. Breakfast is going to be served, I believe, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and registration. It's $120 per player, which is pretty reasonable considering that you get a continental breakfast, you get your golf, and then there is also a beautiful brunch that's being planned not too far from the golf course, which is in Atlantis at Atlantis Country Club. But the brunch is going to be just down the road a bit at Smoke Inn in Boynton Beach. I'm sure since Smoke Inn is a sponsor that there'll be some pretty good cigars on the course as well. I'm looking forward to that too. But from what I hear, they are catering in a really cool brunch, and I'm sure there'll be more cigars at brunch as well. So it's pretty much an entire day event, and it sounds like a lot of fun. I did participate. We sponsored it last year as well, and it was a lot of fun. We did not win, so if you would like to enter and win, you have a really good chance because my team probably will not be in the running. So, but I can guarantee you that we will have a really, really good time. I got a couple of my other friends from the media that will be joining us, and hopefully we'll get to see you. So I'm sure they still have a couple of spots and they can squeeze you in if you would like to play. What you could do is you can give them a phone call. You can give Marcus a call at 561-376-1538. That's 561-376-1538. Or you could quickly drop an email to golf@wheelsforkids.org. But don't hesitate because, like I say, that's this Sunday, September 18th, first thing in the morning, and we'll be partying all day, and I hope to see you all there. It's for a great cause. Also, a little bit more golf news, golf stories. This is a place that I got an opportunity to visit for the first time not that long ago, and it was really cool. And it's an interesting place because they actually close for a couple of months in the off season, and you don't see too many high-end resorts that can close their doors for a couple of months every single year. But this place has such a long and storied history and a cult following that I suppose that's okay. It's the Gasparilla Inn and Club, and they're going to be reopening for their 103rd season on October 6th. A lot of people call this place the Martha's Vineyard of the South. It's been named as the #1 resort in Florida for 2016 by Travel and Leisure. And the #1 resort in Florida altogether by the National Historic Landmark folks. So it's just a beautiful place. I highly recommend it. And if you would like to find out more information about going there and playing their Pete Dye golf course, which is very, very nice right there on the water, GasparillaInn.com is their website, so you can go and you can learn all about it. And this place is just really cool, so that's why I wanted to remind everybody about it. And speaking about really cool, this is an event that I discovered a year or two ago for the first time. It's actually their 4th annual event, and it's not nearby, and it's not easy to get to, but it's just really cool. So I just like talking about it. And the golf course is Greenhorn Creek Resort. It's in Angels Camp, California. And if you want to know where that is, I couldn't even tell you. It's in the middle of nowhere. They call it Gold Country. I guess back in the Gold Rush, this is where the Gold Rush was. But now what they do in that region is it's a wine area, and they have this event at this golf course that is just the coolest thing. It's called the Wine Barrel Open. And it doesn't cost a lot to play. It's open to the public. It's $150 to play. It includes your golf, tea prizes, a wine tasting reception, and dinner. And it's very, very cool. But their main prize, I believe, is a barrel of wine, a barrel of premium wine as well. So I never heard of a golf event where they had barrels of wine, maybe bottles of wine, but not necessarily barrels. And I just thought that this was the coolest thing. You can find out if you'd like to play. They only have 22 foursomes that they're going to allow to play in this event. You can find out more information by going to the golf course's website, which is greenhorncreek.com. And you'll find out it's a Robert Trent Jones golf course. So Robert Trent Jones Jr. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I like to go out and play out in California whenever I can. Unfortunately, I don't get an opportunity to do it as often as I would like to. We got another couple of minutes before we got to take our first break. So I got one story that's kind of a sports story and a travel story, and it's about one of my other favorite topics to talk about when I'm not talking about golf, and that would be football. And we've been talking a little bit about Alaska Airlines because they've been in the news with their merger or acquisition of Virgin America. And I don't get to fly Alaska Airlines because they're mainly on the West Coast, so they don't really have a lot of flights on this coast. So I didn't even know. But their spokesperson, a guy who's doing their commercials, is Russell Wilson. And his title for the airline, they call him their chief football officer, their CFO. And I thought that was pretty cool. But what they're doing this season is if you will fly on Alaska Airlines to any city that Seattle has an away game at, you can get a 12% discount, which I suppose, how did they come up with that 12% discount? I'm not sure. I was going to say that maybe it was his jersey number, but here it says his number 3 jersey, so I don't know. But in any event, I just thought it was a very, very cool promotion. Being a guy that does marketing for my real profession, when I see something that's really cool, I like it a lot. And Alaska Airlines, even though I've never flown it, they're always extremely highly rated and regarded. So an airline that provides good customer service and also has very cool marketing gets my vote. So if they start flying more on the East Coast, which once this merger or acquisition gets completed, we'll probably see them flying more flights in and out of Fort Lauderdale, probably out to L.A. and San Francisco, and who knows, maybe onto Alaska as well. Which is another place I haven't been to yet, and that's a whole nother story, so don't even get me started. So, in any event, what we're going to do is we're going to come back with a little bit more travel news, and then I got a whole bunch of deals, and of course, in just a little bit beyond that, we're going to be talking to Noah Denzel, the CEO of Nomad, and find out about some of the really cool products that he makes for all you travelers. So, what we'll do is take a quick break. Stay tuned for more of the Golf and Travel Show. We'll be right back. And we are back. Time for a quick message from our sponsor, Labor Finders. If your business needs industrial workers or if you're looking for work, you got to call Labor Finders. Labor Finders places for temporary or temporary to hire opportunities for skilled, semi-skilled, or general labor positions such as plumbers, electricians, concrete workers, forklift operators, hospitality workers, office clerical, and so much more. Labor Finders has almost 200 offices nationwide. Right near here in Boca Raton, they have offices in Homestead, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and in Jupiter. So if you need legal, insured workers, or if you want to work, call Labor Finders toll free at 800-864-7749. That's 800-864-7749, or just visit laborfinders.com. And we are back, and it's nice to know that Ken is listening, who's operating our board today, and he reminded me that the 12% is for the fans of the 12th man in Seattle, and I forgot that, and that makes that promotion even better than I thought it was. So, again, kudos to the Seahawks, and thank you to Ken. Now, when I tell you guys that I report the good, the bad, the ugly, I do. I love to talk about really great opportunities. I check it all out. Either I've done it myself or I read the reviews and do a little digging and talk to people I know. But I also occasionally report on some of the bad stuff, the negative stuff, and it's not to scare you. It's just to open your eyes so that you're aware, and when you do plan your travel, that you plan it wisely. And recently I had heard that there was a river cruise ship that was in Frankfurt, Germany, and 230 people were on board, and it struck a bridge in southern Germany, crushed the wheelhouse, killed 2 crew members. Just a real bad scene. And it just reminded me that, first of all, that there's a little bit inherent danger when you fly. We spoke recently, I guess, about Southwest, and they had a little problem with an engine recently that blew up. When you cruise, there are some danger that could be involved. There's been a couple of accidents and a couple of crashes. But when you stop and think about it, and you think about, how rarely any of this happens, whether it's on a ship or whether it's on an airplane, compared to some of the other things in life that we do, like get in our car and drive on 95 here, or do some of the other things in life we do that there's inherent danger. Travel is remarkably safe. And I think when I was talking about that accident or that engine on Southwest, they came out with some statistics to say that it's, with the airplanes mainly, it's due to the technology and the way that they build them, that they're so much safer now. I also saw some of the reviews, I guess, recently, for that new movie that came out, about Sully Sullenberger, landing in the river in New York. And just, saw Tom Hanks making the rounds on the late night talk shows, just talking about how remarkable of an occurrence that was. And, but again, I mean, even when there's accidents, very frequently, many people walk away. And, due to the, how good these pilots are and the captains of these ships and, the navigation equipment, how advanced it is perhaps today versus how it used to be. I truly, I like to educate everybody about, the pros, the cons. We also talk a little bit about that, with some of the terrorism that's going on. We spoke a little bit about France and, how bad it is, for them, of course, that many people are fearful of going to Paris or other places like that. And I wholeheartedly understand it. Yet when you talk to people that do go visit places like Paris or live there, these incidents are not as frequent and not, the odds of you being involved are very, very, very slim. Overseas in other parts of the world, I used to live in New York City, work in New York City. And, I would meet somebody who maybe has never been there before or lives far away. And they would ask me, aren't I afraid to walk the streets or to take the subway or, with all the crime that goes on? And it's like, no, I had no fear whatsoever. It's a huge city and a couple of things may happen here and there, but I had no fear at all. And I just wanted to kind of comment on that as far as travel goes as well, that, you should really feel free to go and do things and not worry about, any of the bad stuff that you occasionally read in the news. Not that you shouldn't be aware of it, and that's why I make sure that everybody is aware of it. Speaking about cruises, I get these surveys and information and trends about cruise lines and, who's hot and who's not. And, they come every month and they don't always change that much. And this particular report that I'm looking at right now comes from a firm called cruisecomplete.com. And they do these trend reports all the time. And, like I say, they just don't change so much, but all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of changes. So I figured I'd give you a little bit of an update so that everybody knows when you're trying to plan a cruise, what everybody else is doing, what seems to be the most popular. And obviously you have to assume that whoever's the most popular must be doing something right or people wouldn't be flocking to them and saying that they love them. So, the first category that I'm looking at is the most popular cruise line. So that's based on the most people that are actually inquiring about a particular cruise line. And under the luxury and contemporary grouping, Royal Caribbean is now number one, and it used to be Carnival. So they've displaced Carnival from the number one spot, and Royal Caribbean has moved up. Under the luxury banner, it's Oceania Cruises. And for river cruises, which these days is extremely popular and everybody's getting into the act, it's Viking River Cruises. And believe it or not, I believe they were the ones that had that accident. So there you go. It's not stopping their popularity, I guess. Now, the most popular cruise ships, the ships themselves would be Anthem of the Seas, which I believe is a Royal Caribbean as well. And it used to be Oasis of the Seas, which was also Royal Caribbean. For luxury, the Queen Mary, too, and they displaced the Oceania Riviera. And for river cruises, it is now Scenic Cruises Europe, and that used to be the Queen of the Mississippi. So, again, a whole bunch of things are changing there. The most popular region for cruisers to go. For premium and contemporary, it's the Caribbean, and that may very well change soon because the Zika may start to catch up to these polls. It may be a little latent. So we'll see, because I'm a little bit surprised. But, of course, there are so many cruises that go to the Caribbean, and obviously the prices are nominal compared to some other cruises. For luxury, Europe is the number one region, and for river cruising, of course, Europe. There are so many more in Europe. That's obviously the most popular place. The most popular cruise departure ports. So, again, this is based on the most people that have requested quotes from Cruise Complete. And this is a huge company, so, I mean, they get tons of traffic over there. And this I found a little bit surprising, too. Number one, Fort Lauderdale. And it displaced who now is number two, and that would be for actually number two for premium contemporary. It used to be Miami. So they switched places. So obviously we've got like the number one and the number two most popular cruise departure points right in our backyard, which is good for us who are living down here. We don't have to fly here like everybody else has to. Now for river, the number one place, and this is where I would like to either start or end my river cruise when I get on one. I'm working on that. If any of you cruise companies are listening, give me a call. That would be Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So I just hear that that's a great city to visit, and I'm kind of upset that I haven't gotten there yet. The most popular ports to visit for premium and contemporary, Cozumel, and they displaced Nassau in the Bahamas. For luxury, it is St. Bart's, and for river, it is Vienna, which displaced Cologne, Germany from last month. Let's see, most popular countries to visit for premium and contemporary. Number one, I find this a little surprising, is Mexico. Number two, for luxury, it's the United States. And obviously this is for international people or for people, I guess, maybe doing like Mississippi River, because if we're here, we don't usually cruise to here, although that can be done. I guess you could go to Key West or something. For river, the most popular country is Germany. And the most popular cabin types, my wife must have responded to this poll, because number one for premium contemporary is balcony, and she insists on a balcony or she's not going. For luxury, it's also balcony, and for river, it used to be balcony, but now it's just outside. So outside would probably have like a picture window, but you actually can't step out. So that is not to my wife's liking. She would not do that. Let's see if there's anything else that's interesting. The most popular length of cruise for premium is a week, for luxury is a week, and for river is a week and a day. I don't know why, but that seems to be what it is. So anyway, the bottom line is I still believe that cruising is an excellent value. People are still doing quite a bit of it. And, the key, I guess, is that all your meals are included as well as the roof over your head, which is kind of cool. And I did notice that more and more are offering options or including drink packages, including alcoholic beverages. So I feel like they must be getting a little bit of heat from some of the all-inclusives where people can go and don't have to worry about that bar tab. So, I think whether you're a couple, a single, or a family, there's certainly a cruise for you, and it may be something that you want to look into. What I'd like to do is kind of change gears here a little bit and throw up a couple of my deals, because I have too many deals to save them all for the last segment like I usually do. But what I will do is what I often do, and that is kind of try at least to start from what's closest to where I'm sitting at least to what's furthest away. And pardon me if my geography isn't perfect. It gets a little confusing when you're going north, south, east, and west to try and figure out exactly what's the furthest and what's the closest. So I'll do my best. First, we're going to talk about a place that I think I've spoken about before. I've visited, although I didn't stay there. I stayed like next door at a different property, but I know people that have stayed there and they've enjoyed it. And right here in Florida, it is the Omni Amelia Island Plantation Resort. Beautiful resort up in the northern part of our state, and plenty of golf, 54 holes of golf. We were talking about tennis earlier. They've got 23 tennis courts. They've got their own shopping village. They've got 9 restaurants, miniature golf, a beach club, shuttles that take you around. In season, this place can set you back quite a bit, but right now they've got a special going on. And, remember too, when we talk about in season here in South Florida, in season is the winter. Now you're talking about the northern part of the state. So this discount is effective from October 9th to February 28th. So the reason being is during the winter up in that area by Amelia Island, it's a little bit chilly. So, maybe not perfect, sunbathing weather, but beautiful weather for a bike ride or a walk along the beach. And when you're saving 45% off their standard rates, I kind of like it. I'm talking about like $139 a night, which is pretty cool. You also get a discount off of their resort fee, which most resorts charge these days. It's a nominal $25 for a deluxe room and $40 for a villa, but you'll only pay $20 with this deal, and you'll also get a $25 resort credit per stay. So if you're only staying for a day or two and paying $139 a night, that $25 resort credit is a kind of a nice little rebate that you're